Penn State football hasn't won 109 in a row, but they have won 6, off to an undefeated start to begin the year. Matt Millen, Big Ten Network analyst, former Penn State star, joins us now. And let's start there, Matt. It's as good a place as any. Penn State went out to USC, got an impressive win in overtime this weekend. How good are the Nittany Lions?
Well, they're as good as they've been so far this season, but not as good as they're going to be at the end of the season. What you see with them is they're still developing. It's an offense that's kind of still in transition, and it's a defense that really needs to incorporate more discipline, because when they have big plays against them, it's not because they're physically getting beat. It's because they're not maintaining discipline of scheme. And so I think those are very correctable. I think they will correct them. And I think they're going to gain confidence as the season keeps on going, especially on the offensive side of the ball. In fact, you can see that with Ala right now. He's gotten better from the beginning of the season to right now, and I expect that he'll continue to grow.
Yeah, you could see the confidence certainly on that final drive, which was huge in the USC game. The 2 completions to Julian Fleming on 4th down. I mean, you don't complete those and the game's over. So it really does speak to his confidence, no doubt. The biggest game of last weekend was obviously Oregon and Ohio State. Oregon gets the win at home. They are still unbeaten. Are they the best team in the Big Ten, in your opinion, Matt?
Yeah, well, you know what? That's a coin flip game, right? That game came down to a lot of different things that could have gone the other way for Ohio State. It didn't. And Oregon is playing at a really high level. But if we really are honest about it, we could be talking about Ohio State this week instead of Oregon. But Oregon's playing very well, and Oregon plays fast. That is a fast football team. And it's interesting when I watch them, you know, it's different because they have speed in the ground game and they have speed in the passing game. They really expand the field. That's what they're trying to do, and take advantage of all their speed, and it's working for them right now.
It is indeed. I mean, you go over 500 yards against a team that was #1 in the nation in total defense coming in. It speaks to how good they are. And they've really improved too, Matt. You think about the offensive line, the beginning of the year, you think about the run defense. Sure. Both those areas have really gotten better. What about the flip side? As you said, Ohio State's a play here, a play there from winning that game. It's not as if the whole thing is falling apart, but they got a loss, and we know that every loss in Columbus is seen as one too many. They have a bye week this week. Where does Ohio State go from here?
They go back to business. They just go back to the basics and correct all the mistakes that they saw. And there's always mistakes in every football game. So they go back to correcting the mistakes, and then they jump back on doing what they're doing. So they have to emphasize the positive, because they've been doing a lot of things really well. I mean, that run game's legit. The passing game is legit. It's just sometimes teams, it's not like another team beats you. Sometimes you beat yourself. And so if you can eliminate all those mistakes, they'll be fine, because they're a very talented group. They're a little bit different than Oregon in that they're not as fast a team, but they can match whoever is on the schedule. That is definitely true. I expect them to come back and just keep on getting back to business. A 1-loss season is not going to be bad, and they'll turn this thing around.
I'm with you, particularly in this 12-team playoff era. Honestly, you can lose 2 games if you're a program the caliber of Ohio State and still make it into the playoffs. So, as you said, just a play here, play there. It'll be fascinating to see how they look a week from now. I can't wait for Indiana, Nebraska on Saturday. We've already talked about it some here on the show. I honestly am not sure you can talk about Indiana enough. It's been an amazing story. We know how good Nebraska is defensively, but what impresses you the most about the Hoosiers to this point?
Honestly, I can't believe how good a job Cignetti has done putting that team together. I mean, that is, everybody talked about Colorado a couple years ago. They brought everybody in and they were going to have this great team and it's all going to work. And when you patchwork a team, it doesn't work like that. It's hard to bring people in from the outside. Don't forget, there's a lot of transfers on this Indiana team, and they are playing at a really high level. And it kind of amazes me, the coaching job that Cignetti's done there to get that group together as one. Now, he brought a lot of his own players from James Madison, But they've integrated this thing exceptionally well, and they're playing as good as team football as is being played out there.
Yeah, it is a remarkable story. I mean, you talk about that Colorado team that generated so much hype last year. They won 4 games, right? I mean, this team's 6-0, and man, the hype is off the charts this week with Big Noon coming, a sellout crowd. It's really going to be something.
It's not easy to do.
Say that again, Matt?
That is not easy to do. You know, when you get a bunch of guys, new guys in, and then you're learning a whole different scheme, you're talking a whole different language. The players are learning the coaches are learning the players. That is really hard to do, and I am shocked that they are having that much success this early. That is hats off to Cignetti.
More than 30 transfers. I mean, it's so hard to get it right, and to get it right as quickly as he did. Right. It's an incredible story. Illinois has been a really nice story as well. The Fighting Illini barely escaped against Purdue, and they set up this huge home game now against Michigan as they rededicate Memorial Stadium 100 years and 1 day after it first opened with the incredible Red Grange game. And now they got Michigan coming in, and Michigan is coming off a bye, a team that desperately needed a bye as they try to figure things out here. What interests you the most about this game, Matt?
Michigan always has good players. What they lack right now is a top-notch quarterback, and everybody knows it. So they're going to go this week. They're going to make a change, and they're going to go with Tuttle, I believe. And so he's been around for a while. And so what I expect is they are going to rely on their run game. They're going to they have a talented offensive line. They're going to rely on that run game and just try to pound on Illinois. And then what Illinois is going to do is you're going to play 8-man fronts, and they're going to take a couple chances. The whole key to the game is going to be when the opportunity arises, can you take advantage of it on both sides of the ball? And so it'll be interesting to me to see how long Michigan can survive just by keep on pounding. Now, Edwards is a good player. They got, they're a solid football team, but they still lack that quarterback.
They do, and we'll see whether Tuttle can change that. And again, you had a week to try to figure it out with him as your starter. Illinois gave up 46 points after halftime to Purdue, so they've got a few things to figure out on defense, see whether or not the Wolverines can take advantage of that. Matt Millen, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time.
I love it. Take care of yourself. Have a great one. Nice talking to you.